A reminder, the news doesn't end here. Here's what's coming up on WCNC Plus at 7 a.m. New details in the deadly shooting at South Carolina State University. What we know about the teen killed, the suspect in custody, and the investigation still underway.
And coming up, how that government shutdown could affect your travel plans, especially when you take to the air.
Plus, a Charlotte teen is taking matters into his own hands to tackle homelessness.
Young people normally don't really know how bad homelessness is, right?
How his initiative, Beyond the Bridge, is helping families find stability and hope.
And parents, you may know stress all too well, but so do your kids.
How to help them manage the pressure and keep your mind at ease. Those stories and much more live, local, and breaking news coming up on WCNC Plus.
And here's your final check at traffic. I am monitoring this new crash. This is in South Carolina, York County, 77 northbound at Carowinds Boulevard. This is blocking at least one lane of traffic and causing quite the delays. In addition, the second big thing going on is going to be this crash on the shoulder. This is I-85 southbound at Graham Street. Those backups extending all the way past University City.
All right, it's mild out there as you're heading out the door, mainly into the 60s. By the afternoon, though, we'll rise well into the lower end of the 80s. It's going to be a warm and kind of muggy start to our week. Wednesday will be the day you'll want that umbrella, and then feeling good Thursday and Friday with highs only in the 60s.
Gonna feel more like fall. Well, thanks so much for joining us. And remember that we are streaming on WCNC Plus at 7. Join us there.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on WCNC Plus at 7. I'm Megan Bragg in for Ben Thompson.
And I'm Lisa Washington. A live look at Uptown and Bank of America Stadium. Majestic Storm is here. She's going to have a check of your forecast. And Becca Birdsall will have an update on your morning commute. First, though, we are in day 6 of the government shutdown.
Well, eyes are on the Capitol as Democrats and Republicans continue to point the finger at each other for why a deal can't be reached. People are also looking at how their flights are being affected.
WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane is live this morning at Charlotte Douglas, sharing how some travelers are bracing for whatever comes next. Richard.
Yeah, good morning to you, Lisa. Good morning, Megan. Good Monday morning, everyone, to everyone on the Plus. Basically, we're here at Charlotte Douglas. I've been watching the lines every morning. It's about a 15 to 20-minute wait, which isn't bad for this line. The other gates have opened up as well, so that's relieving the issues here. But right now, there are concerns that as the longer this shutdown goes on, the more we could see delays when folks try to get to their destinations. Now, TSA officers, air traffic controllers, and customs agents still have to report to work, but this is without pay. Now, this is raising concerns about staffing levels as well as morale. The longer the shutdown continues, travelers could see slower security checkpoints and potential flight delays. Now, the last time we had a government shutdown, that led to hundreds of TSA workers who called out sick nationwide. Now, that led to major disruptions at airports like Charlotte Douglas. Now, airport officials say they're monitoring this situation closely. But for now, flights are running on schedule. But passengers we spoke with are being urged to plan ahead in case the shutdown stalls their travel plans.
There was a lot of chatter on some radios going around about needing help that I actually now remember an employee like walking somewhere and then instantly turning around.
We were warned 3 days ago in Santiago, Spain, that the government had shut down and that we may very well experience some delays.
Now to know that things may be moving a little slower these next few days, I might bump my flight up a little sooner.
Yeah, that's some good advice. If you do have travel plans, it's important to call and always check ahead. But also, if you're coming out to Charlotte Douglas or any airport for that matter, give yourself a little extra time, at least 30 to 40 minutes on top of whatever you would normally do, just to make sure if the delays start to get worse, then you'll be covered. We're right here at Charlotte Douglas. Richard Devane. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
Richard, we know you said right now they're not getting paid. What about back pay, or how does that work?
Normally, when they come back, they will get their back pay. But of course, the problem with that is that if it's a week, 2 weeks or longer, folks aren't having any money in. And that led to those people calling out sick, because those TSA workers and especially air traffic controllers, they have to be here. They have to report to work. They're mandated to come to work even without pay. So the question is, yes, they will get their back pay. They're supposed to get their back pay. Things can always change, but that's how it's been in the past. The big question is, if the longer it goes on, will workers just start calling out sick?
Because here's the thing, everyone who works likes to be gainfully employed.
Absolutely.
You work because you want to get the paycheck, and working knowing that you aren't going to get paid, I mean, that's just not a great feeling.
Absolutely.
All right, Richard, thanks so much
Absolutely.
for that. Right now, we need to get to some breaking news that's just into our newsroom. Highway Patrol confirming one person is dead after a deadly crash in Gaston County, just north of Mount Holly. Officials say it happened just before 6 this morning and caused the eastbound lane near Meadow Lane to close. There's no word what led up to this crash, but we will give you an update as soon as we have more information. Let's check in with Becca now to find out more about the roads out there.
Yeah, certainly a sad update. I've been covering that crash for about an hour now, and here's what we know so far. So this crash is in Gaston County, this deadly one that we've been talking about. This is just north of Mount Holly on Highway 27. That's Charles Jonas Highway heading eastbound or inbound into the Charlotte area at Meadow Lane. You can see that stretch of orange there indicating some slowdowns there. Is expected to clear just before 9 a.m. And then in addition, monitoring this active crash that has now officially moved to the shoulder. This is in York County. 77 northbound at Carowinds Boulevard. Traffic moving along nicely now, but was causing quite the delays. In addition, still monitoring this I-85 at Graham Street. Do have a crash that is impacting the shoulder there, and it is causing quite the backups. You can see this is Graham Street on 85 southbound. Backups extending past University City Boulevard, so expect stop and go all the way till you hit Graham Street. After that, though, you'll be good to go in the green. So those are the slowdowns there from York inbound into Mecklenburg County due to that crash on the shoulder. Also 85 northbound over towards Gaston County, also running a little bit slow. This crash causing a stretch of red. This is on Graham Street at University City Boulevard. And then we also have this one. This is westbound Sunset Road just before you hit I-77. Currently one lane of traffic blocked off.
All right, let's get a check of that weather forecast as we're heading into our new work week. It is a quiet start to the day. You can see quite a bit of cloud coverage out there. That's going to be a big part of the forecast today. I'm calling for partly cloudy skies. We should stay dry, and those daytime highs this afternoon, they're going to be on the warm side. Low 80s as we're heading into today and tomorrow. It's not just the heat, but also the humidity. Wednesday, we have scattered showers and scattered thunderstorms rolling through thanks to a cold front, but back behind the cold front, we will have much drier air, which means it's actually going to cool down and feel a lot more like fall as we're heading into Thursday and Friday. Temperatures right now, though, if you're just waking up, it is 62 degrees right here in the Queen City, 61 in Hickory, 58 in Lincolnton. Comfortable as those kids are waking up, heading off to the school bus. No umbrella will be needed today, and really, not really a big jacket either. I mean, we're looking at 60s across the board. We again have more clouds than sunshine today, but even as they're coming home from school this afternoon, plan for low 80-degree temperatures for most of us. You can see it here, 82 in Gastonia and Shelby, 84 out towards Wadesboro, 71 feeling pretty nice up there in Boone with mainly cloudy skies today in the mountains. It is going to be muggy though today, Tuesday, and straight into Wednesday. Our dew points definitely surpassing that 50-degree mark, meaning that there is a lot of moisture in the air. It'll be most muggy come Wednesday, and then once that cold front sweeps through the area, it's going to bring us some wet weather, some active weather, but then a big drop in our humidity. So Thursday morning is going to feel really, really nice. As far as how much rain are we forecasting this week? Well, it's not a whole lot, but the one day that we're really watching will be on Wednesday. I think most of us should get some rain on Wednesday, and then after that, things really do dry up. We'll see sunny skies and then very mild conditions. Here's Wednesday as that front is pushing through. You can see those scattered rain showers, brief heavy downpours, also not out of the question. Could see a few isolated thunderstorms as well, but at this point, I don't think we'll have any severe thunderstorms that we'll have to be too concerned about. There's that big drop in those temperatures back behind that front, going from 83 degrees tomorrow to a high of only 67 on Thursday, a couple of degrees warmer on Friday, but that's two back-to-back days where daytime highs will be struggling to even reach 70 degrees. It's not just our highs, but even our lows, as temperatures will be dipping down into the 40s and 50s. So Friday morning, stepping outside the door, it is going to feel crisp with temperatures into the 40s for most of us. We're also watching this next wave. This could turn into our next named storm. That would be Jerry. The National Hurricane Center says over the next 2 days, there's a 50% chance of that happening. And the good news is our long-range forecasts are still steering that next system more off to the north and to the east. Again, that would be best case scenario, staying away from the United States. Stay close to the WCNC weather team here. 82 degrees for our high today, 83 by tomorrow, and then again we'll be cooling things down just a bit as we're heading towards a weekend. It's going to be nice though. Even Sunday, the Panthers are at home with mid-70s and some sunshine as well. Guys.
All right, thanks, Majestic. Coming up, it's the return of the Cardiac Cats. We're breaking down the Panthers' incredible comeback win.
11 now. Thanks for streaming live on WCNC Plus. This morning, Panthers fans have something to cheer about. Yesterday, the team put on another incredible performance at home, coming back to beat the Miami Dolphins 27-24.
So the Panthers were down 17-0 early, and it looked like it was all lost. But Bryce Young and the offense stayed true to their motto, which is keep pounding. WCNC Charlotte's Miles Harris talked with Locked On's Julian Council about the win that may spark some new life in the team.
First grab at this win, I mean, how impressive was this one?
I mean, super impressive, Miles, because I was sitting there in that first half when they went down 17-0 thinking, oh, here we go. This is going to be yet another one of the embarrassing losses during this David Tepper era. And instead, it became one of the more emphatic comeback wins, one of the biggest wins the Panthers have had since back in 2018, when up in Philadelphia, Cam Newton brought the Panthers back from 17 points down to win that game. Now, that season did not end into the playoffs, and we'll see how this season potentially turns around after this kind of a win. But I thought it was huge for Dave Canales, for Bryce Young, who got them to that 17-0 hole, and for a defense that's been much maligned, had a nice little turnaround against Arizona, then against Atlanta, then took a big step back last week to take a step forward again this week. Big for the Panthers to come out there, turn things around, and get this win to go to 2-3.
2-0 at home. Next week, a tough one. Can they go 3-0?
Possibly. And honestly, at this rate, they're going to have to go 3-0 because they're not good on the road right now. Dave Canales is only 2-9 in his career here in Carolina on the road, albeit it's only been 11 games on the road, only a second year early on to it. But they were not competitive at Jacksonville. They were not competitive against Arizona until garbage time when they nearly came back in that game. And we don't really need to discuss what happened last Sunday in New England. But if they can hold serve at home, get to 3-3, have the Jets, which you got to think that's a game you should win on the road. Then at 4-3, possibly, you're feeling pretty good about that litmus test with the Buffalo Bills coming to town. And then after that, going up to Green Bay to face off against the Packers. So a huge one for Carolina and a big opportunity coming up against the Dallas Cowboys next Sunday.
I don't want to throw this P word around, but I'm going to have to do it now. When it comes to the playoffs, I mean, we talked about it. I mean, a very impressive win over Atlanta. Obviously, a come from behind win like this, though, too. I mean, if they can get to 4-3, do we feel like they could possibly get into that conversation, whether it's in the hunt? I mean, what's it going to take?
Let's get the 4-3 first for Carolina to really talk about the P word. I love that you bring that up because if they, like Dallas, because here's the thing. You looked at the season going into it, and you felt like these first 7 games are where Carolina really needed to get off to a good start and not being at home for the first couple of weeks where you had 3 of your first 4 games on the road was not ideal for this team. But Jacksonville felt like a winnable game. Arizona felt like a winnable game. Certainly Atlanta did today against Miami, did New England last week. Dallas coming up, as bad as they've been defensively, and the Jets, like those all felt like games Carolina could win. I didn't think they'd win all of them, obviously, but I thought they had a chance to maybe get off to a decent start before they started playing the upper echelon of the NFC and the NFL as a whole, and the Bills and in the Packers in those back-to-back weeks. So if they can get the 4-3, if they can win 3 in a row, which I don't remember the last time the Panthers won. I guess, it was the start of the 2021 season when Sam Darnold was here. Now he's in Seattle, and he went from Carolina to San Francisco to Minnesota to Seattle. So it's been a long road since that last happened. Maybe we can have that conversation. But certainly, if they get to a 4-3 start, win 3 in a row, and then somehow beat Buffalo, then we're going to probably have to have a conversation about the P word halfway through the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And that'd be a nice thing for Panthers fans. Hopefully we'll see more of them in the stands come next week. Julian, I always appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And always good to talk about Panthers, especially after a win.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
Well, while the Panthers were getting a win in Uptown, the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs were taking place at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Shane Van Gissenbergen took the checkered flag at the Roval 400. It's his 5th consecutive win on a street course, and he shared what it means to him.
Just stoked. It was an epic race. First bit we were good, and then in that third stage lost the lead and thought we were going to struggle, and then the car just came alive. So amazing to share it with the Trackhouse guys, 5 for the year, and have WeatherTech on the car. Really amazing day. We're both driving really well, and started the third stage, they're all over me and actually passed me. I couldn't hold them off, and then got back to Kyle, gave him a little bump at 7, didn't mean to, and then it was on from there, and it was a fun battle, and hope everyone enjoyed watching it. I don't know yet, it's still sinking in, but you just see how much it means to everyone and how special it is. It's to have 5 wins it's a bit of a dream, so I'm pretty stoked.
Congratulations to him. He had that permanent smile on. The 8 drivers moving on to the 3rd round of the playoffs are Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano, Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson, as well as William Byron, Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell, and Chase Briscoe.
Awesome. Well, coming up, Becca has an update on the Monday morning commute.
Well, good morning, everyone. Hope your morning's off to a great start to the day. If you haven't been outside yet, it's actually pretty comfortable outside. Most of us are sitting comfortably into the lower end of the 60s, and a big reason for that is because we do have a lot of cloud coverage out there this morning from Monroe to Dallas, Charlotte, even Lake Norman. And those morning clouds, they just act like a blanket. There's another live camera look coming in from Lylesville. So today, do plan for those clouds to hold around. They're going to stick around even into the afternoon, calling for partly to mostly cloudy skies by the later half of our afternoon. Upper 50s, low 60s right now, 61 in Chester, 62 in Charlotte, and 58 degrees in Lincolnton. Whether you're heading off to work, getting those kids off to class, or maybe heading out for your morning walk, really this morning there's not too much to complain about. 60s, it's a little muggy out there, but by the afternoon, again, mainly plan for low 80-degree temperatures. Now, the humidity is going to be a big part of our forecast this week. It's going to be noticeable for the first 3 days of the week. The worst humidity forecasted on Wednesday, and then we have a cold front that moves through. That cold front is going to bring some active weather to us on Wednesday, and then much cooler and drier conditions as we're heading towards Thursday and Friday. Here's a look at our surface map. You can see really just some light showers for South Carolina right now. For our viewing area, though, we're dry, just a bit overcast. I want to show you Wednesday specifically because by mid-morning, early afternoon, most of us will have had some rain already. More widespread rain. Right now we have it at about 70%, so 70% of our viewing area actually receiving some of that rain. And even a few isolated storms not out of the question as that cold front continues to move from the north to the south. Within some of those storms, again, be ready for brief heavy downpours, probably a little bit of gusty winds as well, but as of now, it doesn't seem like we'll have any severe weather to be too concerned about. Look at that. You can tell exactly where the cold front comes in. There you go. Wednesday, a high of 78, but by Thursday, a high of only 67 degrees. So 2 back-to-back days where our temperatures will not even hit 70 degrees. And that's going to be the only day that we actually have rain chances and some good rain chances over the next 10 days. So dry as we're heading into our Monday and Tuesday. Really the name of the game today will be above average temperatures temperatures, we really should be into the upper 70s for this time of the year. Instead, most of us hitting those low to mid 80s. A little cooler, more comfortable up towards the mountains and the foothills today, but again, holding on to plenty of cloud coverage. And then lows tonight going to drop down only into the 50s and 60s, so a rather warm start to the day again. This is what you need to know as you're planning your week ahead. On Wednesday, as that front moves through, remember scattered showers, scattered thunderstorms, no severe threat at this point. And then Thursday and Friday, again, cooling down, feeling nice though when we're looking at those daytime highs, 60s and 70s, and those lows even drop into the 40s and 50s. Coming up when I see you next, we're going to be detailing out what we're looking at in the tropics and when we could see our next named storm. But for now, let's send things over to Becca. How's the morning commute so far?
All right, got a couple of things to talk about. Want to first start with the good news. This crash is clear. This was impacting westbound Sunset Road at I-77. Not something you'll have to worry about now for that Monday morning commute. And then also do want to give you that update over towards South Carolina in York County, 77 northbound at Carowinds Boulevard. That wreck is completely on the shoulder and traffic really being unaffected by this. So if you are headed from York inbound into Mecklenburg County, do be aware of this, but really not causing any big backups there. Different story on I-85 southbound at Graham Street. Do still have that lane of traffic blocked off, and look at the stretch of delays extending past University City Boulevard. Definitely want to have a workaround for that if that is your normal route. This is big picture. Lots of red over there, especially over towards Gastonia on 85 northbound. A couple of other stuff to talk about will be this one. We've got this lane blocked due to a crash on Park Road at the intersection of Woodlawn, and then do still have this one, Graham Street at University City Boulevard. And then taking you over towards Gaston County, we do still have that deadly crash that is ongoing, blocking one lane of traffic. This is just north of Mount Holly, Highway 27, Charles Jonas Highway eastbound at Meadow Lane, still causing some delays, guys.
At the Story Sprinkle, it's Monday and time for Carolina Trivia. Today we're going to take you back in time. Very interesting fact, golf was actually introduced to America in Charleston, South Carolina, of all places. In 1743, Scottish immigrants introduced the sport to an open area near downtown Charleston known as Harleston, now called Harleston Village there in Charleston. They played on an open field with no actual holes, only markers to indicate where to hit the ball with crudely made clubs. This is kind of a rendering of how it may have looked back in 1743 when golf was introduced. This actually is the type of golf club that they use in a golf ball from way back in the 1700s. By the way, this is the way that area looks today near Pitt and Bull Streets, or Bull and Pitt Streets in Charleston, South Carolina. And by the way, in case you want to play, there are over 450 South Carolina golf courses. That's your Carolina Trivia. I'm Larry Sprinkle.
All right, Larry, thanks so much. Well, check this out. Hot air balloons filled the sky in New Mexico yesterday at the 53rd Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. On your screen, you see the more than 500 balloons launching into the sky, including at least 100 special shaped balloons, including that duck there. It is the largest hot air balloon festival in the world. Today, attendees can enjoy live music, concessions, vendors, and more. The festival, by the way, runs through October 12th. Have you ever been up in a hot air balloon, Megan?
No, and I don't think I would.
I have.
Was it fun?
It was fun. It's not, I guess, as fun as you think because you see the balloons and they're so beautiful when you're in the basket. I mean, I'm just thinking like, please let us land safely.
I would just be thinking that the whole time.
But there is the moment of like, okay, this is cool, taking the views. This is cool. You see the flames up there and the huge balloon. I don't know if I need to do the second time.
I was going to say.
It was good. I'm glad I had the experience, but I'm good.
You're good.
All right. Well, here in the Carolinas, we have our own hot air balloon festival. The Carolina Balloon Fest will be happening in just a couple of weeks. It's in Statesville on October 17th through the 19th. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll make sure you keep it right here on WCNC Plus. Another check on weather and traffic in just a couple of minutes. And Megan and I will be back with the day's top headlines starting at 7:30.
Well, good Monday morning, everyone. As you're gearing up to perhaps head out the door this morning, it's very comfortable outside right now. We're mainly into the 50s and 60s. 62 right now in Charlotte, 58 in Lincolnton. Really not feeling bad whatsoever. The one thing you'll notice as we're heading into the day today will be an increase in humidity, but also an increase in warmth. We're looking at low 80-degree temperatures, but we're also looking at high humidity, not just today, but all the way through Wednesday. It's not until a cold front passes through that we'll start to feel more like fall towards the later half of our work week. No need for the umbrella as you're sending those kids off to the school bus, but by Wednesday, definitely keep that umbrella handy. We have more widespread rain heading our way, and then it is going to stay dry as we're wrapping up the work week. Look at that big drop in temperatures. 82 degrees for our high today, even warmer by tomorrow, and then a high of only 67 come Thursday. Becca, how are the roads? Anything going on this morning?
It's busy out there. I do want to give you an update on this crash in York County. This is 787 northbound at Carowinds Boulevard. This crash is on the shoulder and traffic is able to move smoothly as it gets by from York inbound into Mecklenburg County. Different story though over towards I-85 southbound at North Graham Street. This crash is causing quite the backups extending past University City Boulevard. You can expect stop and go traffic as you head closer to uptown.
Thanks for streaming live on WCNC Plus at 7:30. I'm Lisa Washington.
And I'm Megan Bragg. A violent weekend on the campus of South Carolina State University has students and their families on edge.
Students say they watched chaos unfold right outside their windows. 2 separate shootings, one of them deadly, putting the entire community on lockdown. WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards joins us in the studio this morning with the latest on the investigation and how the campus is coping. Destiny, this was their homecoming weekend, so a lot of people on the campus looking forward to a weekend of celebrating.
That's right, and it's definitely a somber start to the week after a weekend of violence on campus. South Carolina State University, though, is now focused on healing, with classes canceled and counseling available for students today. The Orangeburg County coroner identified the woman killed as 19-year-old Jalea Butler of Saluda. Officials say Butler was shot on Saturday near a student housing complex and later died at the hospital. A second shooting also happened elsewhere on campus, injuring a man. Investigators say the 2 incidents are not connected and neither victim was a student. Authorities with SLED have made 1 arrest, 18-year-old Matthew Daniel McCoy of Richland County. He's charged with pointing and presenting a firearm and carrying a weapon on school property. Warrants say McCoy admitted to firing at someone, though it's not clear if that person was hit. The campus remained under lockdown on Sunday with limited access for students and staff.
Like we watched them because like our window faces the courtyard that where it happened. So it's like we was looking out the window and then everybody just running and then you heard pop and then everybody kept running and all of a sudden it's caution tape everywhere.
From now on, I'm just gonna get off campus after the game and stuff. I'm just gonna leave. Yeah, I'm not saying it not here.
University leaders held a town hall last night to address the shooting and safety measures on campus. South Carolina State calls this a tragic event and is just urging the campus community to support one another as law enforcement works to find out what led to the violence. Megan, Lisa, I'll send it back to you.
And it's interesting to know, Destiny, that these were not students who were involved in this. What did the university leaders say? They had a town hall about safety. What did they say?
Yeah, President Alexander Conyers spoke about the response and what they plan to do moving forward. He said 200 officers were on campus at the time of the shooting. And of course, they canceled homecoming events afterwards, and Monday classes are canceled today to focus on support. That includes crisis counseling that they'll have throughout the day. Going forward, he said the university has plans to strengthen enforcement around weapons and drugs on campus, as well as random dorm checks, basically checking to make sure only students are in the housing, not just non-students. And housing teams can only do those dorm checks. Law enforcement can't do the random dorm checks, but the housing staff can call in law enforcement if there's something suspicious, and they can call them in to investigate if they see something. President Conyers, he said he could not speak specifically about the investigation, but he just reiterated that the top priority, of course, is student safety.
Certainly understandable there. All right, Destiny, thanks for that report. Other news this morning, France's new prime minister is resigning just a few weeks in office. Sébastien Lecornu stepped down only hours after unveiling his new cabinet, which sparked backlash across the political spectrum. Lecornu was France's fifth prime minister in less than 2 years. All right, Majestic, let's get an update on our weather for this Monday morning.
All right, well, good morning, everyone. Hope you had a great weekend. There was so much going on around town, and really the weather, it was pretty nice. We're going to just keep that weather pattern going as we're heading into our Monday and Tuesday. So if you're getting ready to head out the door, temperatures are mainly into the upper 50s and low 60s. However, by the afternoon, it is still going to be a very warm forecast. Low 80s today and tomorrow, and that humidity is also going to be quite noticeable. Wednesday, we do have a cold front on the way. That is going to bring us some scattered showers and even some scattered thunderstorms. But back behind it as we're heading into Thursday and Friday, our daytime highs will only top off into the 60s. Plus, that humidity is going to drop, so it's going to feel very much so like fall as we're heading into the later half of the week. Let's get to it. If you're heading out the door, at 61 degrees in Hickory, 58 in Lincolnton, 61 out there towards Shelby. So it's comfortable. It's rather warm for this time of the day, though, and really it's because of all the cloud coverage out there right now. If you're sending those kids off to the school bus this morning, or maybe just dropping them off at school, it's comfortable now, and by the afternoon it is just going to be a warm one with low 80-degree temperatures. So if they have any after-school sports activities, make sure they're dressed accordingly because it is going to be warm. Yesterday we topped off at 81 degrees. Today we are forecasting 82. That's going to be kind of the name of the game. Low 80s for many of us, unless you're up there in the mountains. 71 in Jefferson, 82 in Gastonia, nearing 85 though out towards Cheraw. The mugginess is going to be noticeable today, tomorrow, but especially into our Wednesday. We're going to have a cold front start to pass through on Wednesday. That's going to trigger some active weather, rain showers, thunderstorms. You're going to feel that stickiness in the air, and then once that front sweeps out of our area, back behind it, temperatures drop, but also so do the dew points. That means dry air is heading our way, and by Friday morning, many of us will actually have those temperatures that'll be into the upper 40s, plus no humidity. That morning is going to be a crisp one. You can see, though, as we're looking at the next 10 days, Wednesday is going to be the only day where we could get some impactful rain, about a 70% chance right now. So pretty good opportunity that you'll get some rain showers in your neighborhood. But here's the thing. I think we could also get some isolated thunderstorms because that cold front, it's going to be triggering some of of that active weather. And then with that warmer weather and more humidity up ahead of it, that's kind of some fuel for the possibility of that. However, I don't think we'll have any severe thunderstorms. Here's about noon, so you can see most of us will have some rain showers by that point, and then kind of will start to drift away as we're heading towards the later half of our Wednesday. And then here we go, Thursday. The big story will be how cool it's going to be. Temperatures only topping off at 67 degrees, not even 70 degrees on Friday, but with that will come some sunshine, plus those nice, cool and crisp evenings and mornings. It's going to feel nice, definitely more like fall. We'll have more on that extended 7-day forecast, but for now, Becca, what's going on with the area roadways? Any big updates that people should know about?
You know, no major slowdowns at this point other than the typical traffic that you might see for this time of day. Live view from the busy spot. This is going to be I-77 at the John Bogue Freeway, especially around Uptown. You can expect lots of congestion there. Same goes over towards East Charlotte on the inner and outer loop of I-45 over towards Matthews. Also running a little bit slow over towards Gastonia I-85 northbound. Now we do still have that crash on that shoulder. This is I-85 southbound at North Graham Street. That is causing some stop and go traffic through University City Boulevard. Also do have this crash Scaly Bark Road at South Boulevard. You can see some oranges and yellows indicating some slowdowns there. And then also this crash is causing delays in all directions. This is going to be at the intersection of Graham Street at University City Boulevard. May want to take an alternate route. In addition, do have a sad update to this crash on Highway 27. This is at Charles Jonas Highway heading eastbound at Meadow Lane. Unfortunately, this was a deadly crash that is expected to fully clear just before 9 a.m. One last thing to talk about. This is going to be a stormwater service that's going to completely close Carmel Park Drive starting 8 a.m. this morning and will reopen by October 24th.
All right, Becca, thanks so much. 7:38 now. Tonight, Statesville City Council will decide whether to move forward with a controversial rezoning request that would allow construction to begin on a new data center. The proposal by Compass Data Centers would convert agricultural land near Stamey Farm Road into 5 warehouse-style buildings to house servers and computer equipment. The project also includes plans for an electrical substation and a temporary batch plant for construction materials. Tonight's council meeting starts at 6.
All right, check this out. Mecklenburg County Sheriff Gary McFadden met with local rapper DaBaby over the weekend. The sheriff's office sharing this on its Facebook page. The caption said, Sheriff McFadden sat down with DaBaby to discuss important issues and potential collaboration. Stay tuned to what's cooking up. We've reached out to the sheriff's office for an early insight, and we'll update you when we do hear back.
Coming up, hundreds of swimmers taking the plunge into Lake Wiley. The good cause they were taking a dip for.
Thanks for watching WCNC Plus. The time now 7:41. Well, summer might be over, but the lake still saw some action this weekend. More than 200 swimmers gathered on Lake Wylie for the annual Swim Across America fundraiser. The event raises money for cancer research in our community. WCNC Charlotte's Bria Smith takes us there.
And from that very first Swim Across Long Island Sound, Swim Across America has grown to more than 25 communities, including the one that we have here in Charlotte.
Swim Across America continues to impact lives 38 years after it was founded, right here in the Queen City.
Cancer may start with one cell, but so does progress. When I was 11 months old and again at 3, I was diagnosed with rhabdomyosarcoma, a type of cancer that affected my pelvis, a soft tissue cancer. And thankfully, due to the amazing care from Levine Children's Hospital and that team there, I was able to be cured.
Drennan Schall attends Providence Day School and swims with Swim Mac Carolina. He says his story and this organization contributes to who he is.
And Swim Across America is just a great charity. It bonds my love for swimming with such a great cause. I've done this swim for 5 years, and it's just so inspirational to see the community come together and make truly an impact.
An impact made on many people, no matter their age.
My reasons for supporting Swim Across America changed about 12 months ago. I found out in mid-November I got diagnosed officially with advanced stage 4 metastatic prostate cancer.
The goal for each event is to raise funds for cancer research, funds that stay in the community to make a local impact.
As everyone knows, funding right now is very difficult to come by, but there's no lack of effort on physicians and investigators' part to try to find ways to provide hope, more opportunities for patients to get the care that we believe they need. Swim Across America Charlotte is fundamental to providing that.
The nonprofit has raised more than $100 million since it was founded. If you'd like to become a volunteer, donate, or swim in next year's event, visit our WCNC mobile app to learn more information. At Lake Wylie, Bria Smith, WCNC Charlotte.
A Charlotte teen is stepping up to help local families experiencing homelessness, giving them a safe place to stay. 16-year-old Zion Martin is the founder of Beyond the Bridge, a program that provides families with short-term emergency housing and food cards while they work to get back on their feet. The program also connects families to mental health support, job training, and counseling, helping parents and children build a path to long-term stability.
It's a pretty big problem, and I really want to help with that. Young people normally don't really know how bad homelessness is, right? So I really think they should learn about why homelessness is such a big problem right now and why they should help out.
Martin says the Beyond the Bridge is still growing, and he is looking for help. To find out how you can support the initiative, head to our website, WCNC.com.
Well, the fight against Alzheimer's continues. Nearly 500 people came out to attend the Roanne Cabarrus Walk to End Alzheimer's Saturday at Atrium Health Ballpark in Kannapolis. Walkers carried flowers, which represents their personal connection to this disease. Organizers raised more than $84,000 to help fund research.
Coming up, a race against time, the major effort to rescue people trying to climb Mount Everest.
This morning, several climbers are still recovering from hypothermia after a dangerous emergency on Mount Everest. They were stranded by a powerful blizzard trapped on the mountain. NBC's Camilla Bernal has more on the race to rescue them.
A desperate rush to rescue hundreds of hikers stuck near the world's tallest mountain. A blizzard left nearly 1,000 people trapped on Tibet's eastern slope of Mount Everest, according to Chinese state media.
I'm sure there's a sense of urgency. It's all hands on deck.
Freezing temperatures and heavy snow putting local villagers and rescue teams on a race against the clock. Alan Arnett is a mountaineering coach who has climbed Mount Everest.
It's going to be a massive human effort in order to reach those people.
While some have already been rescued, many still reportedly stuck at an altitude of 16,000 feet. Hiker Chen Gu Shuang made it out, but some in her group still recovering from hypothermia. She says the unexpected snowstorm was really frightening, adding she worried that lightning might strike their camp and kill them. The monsoon causing snowfall Friday evening and Saturday, also bringing heavy rain to neighboring Nepal. The army called in for rescues. Landslides and flash floods have killed at least 44 people, according to authorities.
Normally, we don't see this type of heavy disaster happening this time of year, especially a blizzard of this magnitude.
But Arnett says when you're approaching Everest, you have to be prepared for everything. Camila Bernal, NBC News.
All right, good Monday morning, everyone. Let's take a look at our local forecast as we are heading into a new week. A few things you'll want to know is really the first half of our week is going to feel warm and muggy, sticky as we're heading into our Monday and Tuesday. That humidity will peak on Wednesday. Then we have a cold front that starts to bring some impacts. We'll see some scattered rain showers come Wednesday. You can see our rain chances right now at 70%. So more widespread, impactful rain will be possible by the middle half of our work week. And then no more rain opportunity throughout the rest of our week and into the weekend. Let's focus on Wednesday because you won't need the umbrella today or tomorrow, but on Wednesday, you surely will. Here's about 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll start to see scattered showers becoming a bit more widespread by about noon and into the afternoon. Not just rain, but also the possibility of seeing a few isolated thunderstorms that could bring brief heavy downpours. But as of now, it doesn't seem like we'll have any severe thunderstorm activity. It'll start to fizzle out as we're heading into the later half of the day on Wednesday, and by Thursday we'll really be impacted by cooler air back behind that front. You can see 82 degrees today, 83 by tomorrow. So starting out our work week abnormally warm. We should be really into the upper 70s. We'll hit that on Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday daytime highs will not even touch 70 degrees. Not just our highs, but look at those overnight lows. It is going to feel crisp as you're heading out the door Friday and Saturday. Because, yeah, temperatures will be into the 40s and low 50s, but we won't have a lot of humidity. So starting out the week feeling more summer-like, ending the week feeling more fall-like. We are keeping a close eye on the tropics. As always, we're watching this next wave right here. The National Hurricane Center says over the next 2 days, there's a 50% chance of development. Over the next 7 days, a 70% chance. This would be Jerry if this becomes our next named storm. And the good news is a lot of our long-range forecasts are keeping this storm system curving off to the north and to the east, which would stay away from the U.S. There's that Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. Starting out quiet this week, Wednesday will be our active day and then cooling down as we're heading into the rest of that 7-day forecast. Becca, what's going on with the area roadways this morning?
It's slow out there in the usual spots. This is a live view from I-85 over towards Sam Wilson Road, giving a live look over towards Gaston County. Just a little bit slow on those northbound lanes, typical as drivers head from Gaston inbound into Mecklenburg County. Lots of red on the major highways and interstates. Of course, allow yourself plenty of extra time as you hit the roadways this morning. But I do want to give you an update on this. Got an official report of a crash. This is on I-45 northbound at Albemarle Road, and look at the stretch of delays associated with this. At least one lane of traffic blocked off, extending past the Matthews and Mid-Hill area. So do expect stop and go traffic throughout I-45 northbound. In addition, still slow in that active crash that is on the the shoulder. This is I-85 southbound at North Graham Street. Backup still extending past University City. And then just to the north of that, crash Graham Street at University City Boulevard, especially those slowdowns coming as you head westbound at University. And then do want to let you know of this storm drain project. This is going to be in the Cotswold neighborhood that will close Water Oak Road both directions between Judith Court and Hartnett Avenue. This is going to be a daily closure twice all the way through November 14th.
All right, well, check this out. The first weekend of this year's Carolina Renaissance Festival is now in the books. The festival is full of food, attractions, and entertainment for all ages. This year's 16 stages featuring continuous live comedy, music, dance, and circus entertainments. We talked to, for first time, a festival goer who is already looking forward to next year.
This is my first time being here. I love it so far. I've got so many souvenirs, I'm probably going to go into debt, but I don't care because I love it here. I was really surprised at how festive this place was. I thought that it was going to be, really uncrowded and unsupervised and all, but I mean, this place is awesome. I think I'll come back next year too.
The Renaissance Festival runs every Saturday and Sunday through November 23rd, and we're here with Majestic. Because Majestic, and Becca's here too, but Majestic, I'm not trying to leave you out. Majestic, you went to the Renaissance Festival.
Yeah, I did.
And
It was
you
so good.
showed out.
It was a 10 out of 10. Anything where I can dress up, I love dressing up. It's so much fun. But I was going with the mindset that it would be fun.
Okay, Majestic.
Oh my God. You like the wig?
I
love the
It
wig.
looks great.
That was my friend Kristen that came with us and Jack, and we just went for the whole day. It was so impressive, the detail that they put into everything. Like, you feel like you're actually walking into a whole different time, and the characters were so fun. The costumes, they had lots of different shows that you could go to. The food, jousting, real jousting, which I've never seen before. So it was so much fun, so unique. I've got to do it every year now.
I loved how the one lady said, I felt unsupervised, but I guess in a good way.
It was one of those places where you just go and you don't have to worry about real life. And they had all of these different shops where you could just, find fun little local things. And
Yes.
it was great. And all different people, the young kids all the way up to like, grandmas and grandpas going
Something
out.
for everyone.
And did you get a turkey leg?
Okay,
That's
can you
the most
believe that I
important
actually
question.
didn't? Because I love turkey legs, but I think I was just too busy in the moment.
Yeah.
with things.
Gotcha.
And I was like, does it really last this long before I win? Because it's numerous weekends, you know?
Yep.
But now I get it, because you could go back a couple of times and enjoy it just like you could the first time. So
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
very
That's real.
impressed.
That's great.
Well, glad you enjoyed that. All right, we're going to take another break, but keep it right here on WCNC Plus. Another update of weather and traffic, and then the day's top headlines at the top of the hour.
All right, well, good Monday morning, everyone. We are starting out the new week with dry but cloudy conditions. There's a live camera look coming in from Dallas. Many of us waking up to a view like this, and if you haven't been outside yet, temperatures, they really aren't that bad. We're starting out the day mainly into the upper 50s and low 60s. However, you're going to notice a humidity, not just today, but all the way through Wednesday. And then we do have a cold front on the way. That's going to bring us some rain showers on Wednesday, followed by a cool down, not just for our air temperatures, but also for that humidity. Rain showers on Wednesday, so plan accordingly. You'll want your umbrella that day. We could also see a few thunderstorms as well. Back behind that front, look at what it does to our temperatures. 83 degrees tomorrow, 67 for our high on Thursday, not even reaching 7 degrees on Friday either. And there's that Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast right there, starting out rather warm this week, but then it's going to feel much more like fall by the end of our work week. Becca, how are the roads this morning?
Still busy out there. Live look outside over towards southern Mecklenburg County. This is 77 at Nations Ford Road. Moving and grooving, but a little bit slow on those northbound lanes. Want to let you know of this problem spot over towards the eastern portion of Mecklenburg County. We've got a crash on I-45 and northbound. This is at Albemarle Road and a big stretch of delays past Matthews and Mint Hill Road. Definitely want to seek an alternate route. In addition, crash on the shoulder. This is I-85 southbound at Graham Street. Happy Monday, and thank you for joining us live on WCNC Plus at 8 o'clock. I'm Megan Bragg, in for Ben Thompson.
And I'm Lisa Washington. While eyes are on the Capitol as Democrats and Republicans continue to point the finger at each other as to why a deal can't be reached to avoid the government shutdown, to bring it to an end, that is, people are also looking at how their flights are being affected by the shutdown.
WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane shares how travelers are bracing for whatever could come next. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning to you, Megan. Good morning, Lisa. Good Monday morning, all. We're here at Charlotte Douglas, and you can see behind me this line, this particular line here at Checkpoint 1, Security Checkpoint 1, is getting longer. And this is just a regular Monday morning. Can you imagine if this government shutdown lasts any longer? It could mean this line could really start to stretch out. Now, this is the thing. TSA officers, as well as air traffic controllers and customs agents, still have to report to work, but without pay because of the government shutdown. Now, this is raising concerns about staffing levels and morale. The longer the shutdown continues, travelers could see slower security checkpoints and potential flight delays, like the last time the government shut down, which led to hundreds of TSA officers actually calling out sick. That created major disruptions at airports like Charlotte Douglas here. Airport officials say they're monitoring the situation, but they admit there's little they can do until the shutdown ends. For now, flights are running on schedule from what we've looked at the big board, but passengers are being urged to plan ahead in case the shutdown continues and stalls people's travel plans.
There was a lot of chatter on some radios going around about needing help that I actually now remember an employee like walking somewhere and then instantly turning around.
We were warned 3 days ago in Santiago, Spain, that the government had shut down and that we may very well experience some delays.
Now to know that things may be moving a little slower these next few days, I might bump my flight up a little sooner.
Yeah, and if you can't do like that guy, that's a good suggestion. And best bet is to come extra early to the airport to give yourself more time to get through things like TSA checkpoints. We're right here at Charlotte Douglas. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
Looks like things are moving along swiftly now, but here's the thing. You're talking about people who are working, knowing that they're working and there's no end when that paycheck is going to come.
Absolutely correct. Yeah, that's bad. A lot of folks that I know who work for the government say that some of them have been furloughed already, but for folks not only not getting paid, but forced to come to work. You would think they were a TV news reporter.
That is not the case.
Did I say that?
Richard is getting a paycheck. You are going to be paid, at least I hope you are, doing this. But he's right, though. I mean, because it's one thing if you're furloughed. I have a friend who works for the federal government. She's furloughed, so she's not going to work today. Right. But these are people who still have to get up at whatever time, get to their jobs, maybe do it with a smile, knowing that, you know, in 2 weeks or 1 week, that paycheck that you are used to getting, that direct deposit, is not going to be there or may not be there.
And also, too, at this time, if you are going to the airport, just have extra patience, kindness, right? Because, you you don't know what people are going through. And yeah,
that is true.
Excellent point. Excellent point.
All right, Richard, thanks so much for that. Let's take a live look now at the U.S. Capitol, where, again, that blame game continues as the government shutdown lingers. This is day 6. Meanwhile, the Pentagon confirming 200 California National Guard members are being reassigned to Oregon, even after a federal judge temporarily blocked the deployment of 200 National Guard troops to Portland. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
President Trump's push to send National Guard troops into more American cities facing new pushback. In Portland, Oregon overnight, where protests are underway, a federal judge blocked the Trump administration's move to send National Guard troops from California or any other state into the city. California's governor celebrating the order, writing, quote, "Trump's abuse of power won't stand." That follows a separate ruling blocking the deployment of 200 Oregon National Guard soldiers to Portland.
I appointed the judge and he goes like that, so I wasn't served well. Portland is burning to the ground.
Portland police say the protests there have been contained to a single block. While in Chicago, the Trump administration ordering 300 National Guard troops into the city, making good on weeks of threats over the Illinois governor's objections.
They want to create the war zone so that they can send in even more troops.
Republican leaders rejecting that.
U.S. military, Mr.
I don't
Speaker.
think you should ask the governor. I think you should ask the citizens who are in fear for their lives and livelihoods in these cities.
Citing recent attacks on ICE officers, including this, the Department of Homeland Security says happened Saturday in Chicago, a black SUV repeatedly slamming a truck with ICE agents inside, all as the federal government shutdown stretches into its 6th day, with President Trump warning mass layoffs of federal workers are coming.
I call them Democrat layoffs.
We tried to get President Trump to sit down with us weeks ago.
Negotiations at a standstill with military service members among the thousands working without pay. Federal workers are paid back after a shutdown, but the longer it goes, the harder it gets. Democrats are holding firm that restoring and extending health care provisions has to be part of a deal to reopen the government, while President Trump argues the Obamacare measures they're pushing for need changes first. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Good Monday morning, everyone. Well, if you are just waking up, there's a little bit of sunshine peeking through right here. Here's a live camera look coming in from Lake Norman. However, a lot of us are holding on to mostly cloudy skies at this point. Temperatures are very mild, though. That's oftentimes what will happen when we wake up to cloudy conditions. They just act like that morning time blanket for us. You can see all the clouds out there in Dallas. Much of the same over the Queen City. Partly cloudy skies currently. However, as we're heading into the afternoon, be prepared for more clouds, but those temperatures are still going to rise back into the low 80s. Not just today, but tomorrow as well. So it's going to be warm and it's also going to be humid. As we're looking at Wednesday, scattered showers and thunderstorms are ahead, all because of a cold front. Back behind the cold front, it's going to make it feel all of a sudden very much so like fall. Thursday and Friday, not just those morning time temperatures, but even our daytime highs, they're only going to be topping off into the 60s, which is basically where we are right now. We're at 66 here in Charlotte, 60 in Lincolnton, up there in Boone, feeling pretty good. 57 degrees there, and mid-50s in Jefferson. Our dew points, remember, this is measuring the moisture in the atmosphere, mainly into the 50s and 60s. So it's going to be a bit sticky out there this morning, but especially into the afternoon. So if you plan on spending some good time outside today, it's not going to be a bad day. It's just going to be on the warmer side. A high of 82 degrees today, so probably about a degree or two warmer than yesterday, unless you're up there in the mountains. More cloud coverage as we head through mid-morning and into the afternoon. And then temperatures today will rise mainly into the upper 60s, low 70s, getting a little warmer once we're talking about the foothills. 78 out there in Lenoir, 79 in Morganton, and then again right around Charlotte, topping off into the low 80s for us. Lincolnton, Shelby, 81 degrees in Statesville, and getting a little warmer as we're heading out towards Chesterfield, where you'll be nearing 85 degrees this afternoon. It is going to be sticky, not just today, but tomorrow as well. The humidity, it'll peak come Wednesday, and then once that cold front swings through, it is going to bring us some scattered showers, but also cooler temperatures and less humidity. We're going to be detailing out the timing of the rain that you need to be ready for on Wednesday coming up in just a few minutes. But Becca, what's the latest as far as everyone's Monday morning commute?
Yeah, still moving and grooving out there. One of the nicer spots is going to be this one. Camera is frozen on me, but this is I-77 at the Brookshire Freeway. No issues there, both those north and southbound lanes. But a little bit further south in York County, this is 77 northbound at Carroll Woods Boulevard. We did have a previous wreck that is currently on the shoulder, but it is just a little bit slow moving as drivers head from York inbound into Mecklenburg County. You'll see that reflected in the red. Lots of red over towards Gaston County on 85 northbound as well. But the biggest crash and accident and slowdown is going to be this one. This is going to be on I-485 northbound. That's the outer loop at exit 41. That's Albemarle Road, and the delays continue to stretch all the way through the Matthews and Mitt Hill area. Definitely want to seek an alternate route. Still have this crash on the shoulder. This is I-85 southbound at North Graham Street, but starting to see some improving conditions there. In addition, this deadly crash that we had in Gaston County just north of Mount Holly, still blocking one lane of traffic on Highway 27 at Meadow Lane.
Becca, thanks. Basketball is back. Coming up, we're going to talk to the Charlotte Observer's Rod Boone about the Charlotte Hornets' first preseason game. The NBA season is here. Last night, the Charlotte Hornets played the Oklahoma City Thunder in their first preseason game of the season.
And joining us this morning is Charlotte Hornets beat writer for the Charlotte Observer, Rob Boone. Good morning, Rod. How are you?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing this morning?
We're doing good.
Well.
Okay, so the first preseason game is in the books. Let's talk about this. What's your first impressions?
I guess a couple of things. Con Knipple, rookie drafted, number one in the first round. Essentially, to see him come out and play the way he did in his first game, had a little bit of a struggle at first. A couple of jump shots didn't go down for him. He had an air ball, but he had 18 points. Played well in the second half, and to kind of see him kind of get his feet wet was a good thing. Also, Brendan Miller, he hadn't played since January. He had a wrist injury, had surgery, and to see him come out there, he hit a turnaround jump shot, a couple of dunks. Those are my impressions of the Hornets so far, is watching those two guys, Brendan Miller and Con Knipple, do the thing last night against the Thunder.
We will see what happens as the preseason continues. So not a lot of people are talking about this, but the Hornets made a lot of off-season moves. Talk about some of those key additions that you think might be helping out LaMelo.
Well, I mentioned Con Knipple a few minutes ago. I mean, he's probably one of the main ones. You look at his ability to stretch the floor. The Hornets need somebody to be able to stay in the corner. When Melo does his thing, say, all right, here's the ball coming to you, hit that jump shot. So with Knipple out there, he can help stretch the floor, give Melo more room to play. That is a benefit. Also, Colin Sexton, they traded for him, brought him in from the Utah Jazz. He's been a veteran leader so far. He's one of the players who can come in, be a ball handler. He can take pressure off LaMelo. He can score. He can make for him, just do a lot of different things for him in the backcourt. So I like Colin Sexton and against Con Knipple. And even if you want to throw a rookie in there as well, is Ryan Kalkbrenner. I mean, Ryan Kalkbrenner so far in training camp has been the talk of camp. The players like what he's bringing. He has just a basic kind of center type of mentality where he's just going to be down low, blocking shots, getting rebound, trying to protect the paint and make dunks. So I like Kalkbrenner. So they got a couple of guys that help LaMelo. We'll see if it happens for him this year.
And after watching that game, what are some of the key takeaways? What do you think they really need to work on, especially going into this season?
Well, one of the main things is defense. Charles Lee is all about defense. If you can't play defense and give effort, you won't be in the court as him as the head coach. So they didn't play very well in that last night. They have to be able to have better communication, know what spots to be in, because if you can't play defense at this level in the NBA, you aren't going to win many games because you can go out there and try to score, outscore your opponent, but at some point you got to play defense to be able to lock down the game. So if they can't do that, they won't be a good team going forward. And also rebounding. That's going to be a big thing for them, is rebounding, finishing off possessions. If you, playing defense well for 24 seconds and can't get the rebound, it could be a little bit deflating out there for you as well. So it's more about rebounding and defense for the Hornets to be able to be a good team this year for sure.
Okay, so rebounding, defense. But now after getting rid of Mark Williams and adding so many players, how do you think they work to get a vibe, to get them gelling and all, working together? Is that going to be a challenge?
I think it will be a little bit because, as you mentioned, with a new team in terms of new players, it takes time. Even though you want to say you can plug and play like this is NBA 2K, it doesn't work that way in real life. You can't just play fantasy basketball in NBA 2K. You got to actually have the guys get camaraderie and know they want the ball on the floor and things like that. So I think that's kind of the biggest thing, is watching them develop chemistry. When you have Colin Sexton come in here, a ball handler, playmaker, you have guys like that who don't know where guys want the ball. It takes time. So they'll be fine, but just give them a little bit of time to actually go out there and become a team first, in my opinion.
All right. Well, okay, last question. Do you think the Hornets can be the next Pacers or Thunder? Or is this just like an absolute unrealistic expectation for fans?
I wouldn't say it's unrealistic, but let's kind of temper that a little bit, because the Thunder and Pacers, made incredible runs to the finals. So the Hornets are not a finals type team just yet. You got to win a playoff series first. So let's just kind of slow down a little bit with that in terms of trying to think they're going to go that far. But I do believe if they are healthy, which is the big thing with this team always, their health. If they are healthy, to me, they are a playoff team. What seed that is, I can't say. It could be maybe a 7, 8, 9, somewhere around there. But the talent is there. The players are there. It's more about, can they stay healthy? And if you're a Hornets fan, you know that's the biggest question for this team every year, beginning with LaMelo Ball. If he's healthy and can be out there in the court, Hornets have a chance to win ball games every night.
Got to win those games before you can start talking playoffs. Got to be able to, walk
Absolutely.
before you run, one step at a time. All right, I think this is to entertain our producer. If you had to pick a Hornets all-time starting five, Rod, you've known about the Hornets for a long time, since they started. Who's your all-time starting five?
That's a tough question, but we got to get a little bit of old school, a little bit of new school, right? So you got to go with Alonzo Mourning for one.
course.
Zoe is the center. He's the fan favorite. Got to go with Zoe, right? Also LJ, Larry Johnson. Got to go with Grandmama. He's in there as well. Then you kind of get a little bit of the gray area, right? But to me, Del Curry. He is not only a TV analyst, but also one of the best three-point shooters of all time in franchise history. So you got him in there. You got to have Muggsy Bogues. Muggsy was the man when the Hornets were playoff worthy. First, we're kind of just becoming a franchise and trying to put the name on the map, so to speak. And then, of course, all-time leading scorer, Kemba Walker. How can you forget Kemba Walker? So to me, those are the five guys I would have. You can mix and match a little bit, but those, in my opinion, are the guys you want to have if you're a Hornets fan for your top five.
All right. Well, you heard it here. This is Rod Boone giving us his top five. Thank you so much for waking up with us. We enjoyed that. Of course, the Hornets, the preseason continues. They have a few more preseason games. Didn't get the win that they wanted last night, but hopefully things will turn around.
And the Hornets tip off the regular season at home on October 22nd against the Brooklyn Nets. Keep it right here. Becca has an update on the Monday morning commute.
Well, good Monday morning, everyone. Hope you had a great weekend. We are waking up to a whole lot of cloud coverage out there. You can see a live camera look. This one's coming in from Dallas. Even though we do have a lot of clouds, those temperatures outside are really quite mild if you're getting ready to head out the door. Be prepared, though. By this afternoon, we will see temperatures rise back into mainly the upper 70s and low 80s, a high of around 82 in Charlotte and Monroe. Not only will it be warm this afternoon, but remember, it's also going to be muggy muggy as we're heading into the next 3 days. The humidity will top off on Wednesday. Then we do have a cold front that's going to bring in very, very nice conditions as we're wrapping up our work week. Now, over the next 10 days, we don't have a lot of rain. However, I do think we'll have some more widespread rain, more impactful rain come Wednesday. So if you have any plans on Wednesday, you're going to need that umbrella. No need for the umbrella today or tomorrow. This is our futurecast now taking you into Wednesday. Here's 8 o'clock in the morning. Cloudy skies still. It's going to be warm and muggy. Really perfect ingredients for not only passing showers, but even a few isolated thunderstorms. Brief heavy downpours. You can see this is right around our lunchtime forecast, but I don't think we'll have any severe thunderstorms to worry about. Once that system passes, look at what it does to our temperatures. Going from 83 degrees on Tuesday to 78 on Wednesday. Thursday, our daytime highs, they won't even reach 70 degrees. And with those cooler daytime highs, our overnight lows also feeling cooler, only dropping down into the 40s and 50s. More on our extended forecast coming up. But Becca, what's the latest on the roads for everyone's Monday morning commute?
Yeah, I got a couple of issues out there, but one of the good spots is going to be over towards Iredell, Mecklenburg County line. Live view from I-77 north of Griffith Street. Here's an updated look at those drive times. Matthews to Uptown would take about 29 minutes. Salisbury 53 and Waxhaw about 39 minutes. Newest crash on the board is going to be this one, eastbound Pineville Matthews Road at Arboretum Shops Center. It is blocking that left-hand lane of traffic, but the biggest slowdown is going to be over towards the eastern portion of Mecklenburg County. This is I-485, the outer loop heading northbound at Albemarle Road, blocking one lane of traffic, and those backups extending past the Matthews and Mitt-Hill area. And then the second one is going to be the stormwater service. This is going to shut down Carmel Park Drive starting 8 a.m. this morning, which already happened, will last all the way through October 24th.
Becca, thanks. Well, it's time to load up on carbs because it is National Noodle Day.
Yeah, and you can celebrate by making your own noodles or just go out and enjoy them because that's way easier. October is also National Pasta Month. Noodles were invented in China about 4,000 years ago, and instant ramen came from Japan in 1958.
So my son is 7. He's like a carbaholic. I feel like we have pasta and noodles at least 3 to 4 nights. So I am so tired of boiling the water.
This is his month then.
This is so his month.
And
what about you guys?
Oh, I was going to ask, what is his favorite noodle?
So, it varies. He likes of course, elbow for macaroni and cheese. He likes spaghetti, angel hair, rotini. I mean, you name it, bow tie. It doesn't matter. He hasn't met a carb or pasta he does not like. Plain with just butter.
I have buttered noodles.
Do you have buttered noodles?
I had them last
That's
night.
the thing.
So,
Interesting.
That's the thing.
It's so good.
I just tried out this new restaurant in Optimus Hall, and it's their new Italian restaurant. I don't know the name of it right now, but it was really, really good. Like 10 out of 10.
Nice.
Okay.
I think the chef was actually from Italy and opened it here.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know it's good then.
Yeah. Well, now I'm in the mood for pasta.
Right?
I know.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, maybe find some pasta. Keep it right here on WCNC Plus. Another update on weather and traffic in just a couple of minutes, and then the day's top headlines at 8:30.
Well, good Monday morning, everyone. Hope you had a great weekend. The weather wasn't too bad, was it? Well, here's what you need to know. This morning, we do have a whole lot of cloud coverage out there. Those clouds are going to hang around throughout the day today and even into tomorrow. However, it's comfortable as you're heading out the door. Our actual air temperatures are mainly into the upper 50s and low 60s. You'll notice over the next 3 days that humidity is going to be rather on the high side, especially on Wednesday when our humidity will peak. And then we have a cold front that's going to bring us some rain showers on Wednesday, scattered showers, scattered thunderstorms. Back behind it will come cooler temperatures and dry air, meaning that that nice feeling of fall will actually be most noticeable as we're heading towards our Thursday and Friday. We do have rain though, especially on Wednesday. Keep that umbrella handy, a 70% chance of seeing those passing showers. And this is that cool down that I'm talking about. 82 degrees today, 83 by tomorrow, and then Thursday and Friday, temperatures don't even reach 70 degrees. And then this upcoming weekend is going to be rather comfortable as well. There's that Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. Looking pretty nice over the next few days. Watch for passing showers on Wednesday and then feeling cool and more like fall heading into Thursday and Friday. Becca.
Traffic starting to let up out there, but still a little bit slow. Live view from north of Uptown. This is I-77 at Atondo Avenue. Running a little bit slow on those southbound lanes. Do want to let you know of this crash that we have. This is eastbound Pineville Matthews Road at Arboretum Shop Center. This is blocking one lane of traffic, an area you'll want to avoid.
Thanks for joining us live on WCNC Plus at 8:30 on this Monday. I'm Lisa Washington.
And I'm Megan Bragg in for Ben. Well, it is the second week right now of a violent weekend, I should say, on campus of South Carolina State University. And it has a lot of students and their families on edge.
This was their homecoming weekend. Students say they watched chaos unfold right outside their windows. 2 separate shootings, one of them deadly, putting that entire community on lockdown. This morning, WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards joins us in the studio with the latest on this investigation and how the campus is coping. Destiny.
Yeah, after a weekend of violence on campus, South Carolina State University is now focused on healing, with classes canceled and counseling available for students today. The Orangeburg County coroner identified the woman killed as 19-year-old Jalea Butler of Saluda. Officials say Butler was shot on Saturday near a student housing complex and later died at the hospital. A second shooting also happened elsewhere on campus, injuring a man. Investigators say the 2 incidents are not connected and neither victim was a student. Authorities have made one arrest in one of the shootings, 18-year-old Matthew Daniel McCoy of Richland County. He's charged with pointing and presenting a firearm and carrying a weapon on school property. Warrants say McCoy admitted to firing at someone, though it's not clear if that person was hit. The campus remained under lockdown on Sunday with limited access for students and staff.
Like, we watched them because like our window faces the courtyard that where it happened, so it's like we was looking out the window and then everybody just running, and then you heard pop, and then everybody kept running, and all of a sudden it's caution tape everywhere.
From now on, I'm just gonna get off campus after the game and stuff. I'm just gonna leave. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not here.
University leaders held a town hall last night to address the shooting and safety measures on campus. South Carolina State calls this a tragic event and is urging the campus community to support one another as law enforcement works to find out what led to the violence.
And Destiny, did they say anything specific during that town hall moving forward what they would do? I mean, it's important to note that this happened there, but these victims were not students of the university.
Right. President Alexander Conyers, he answered questions and spoke about the response as well as what they plan to do moving forward. He said 200 officers were on campus at the time of the shooting, and then obviously they canceled homecoming events afterwards, and Monday classes today are canceled and they're focusing on support, and that includes crisis counseling. Now, going forward, the university has plans to strengthen enforcement they already have around weapons and drugs on campus, as well as conducting random dorm checks, but only housing teams, people that work in the housing staff, can do that, not law enforcement. But they can call in law enforcement to investigate further if they see something suspicious. The president could not speak specifically about the investigation, but he continued to reiterate that the top priority for them is student safety.
Of course. All right, Destiny, thanks so much for that.
Well, a group of 3 scientists have been awarded the 2025 Nobel Prize in Medicine. The Nobel Committee announced the winners today during a ceremony in Sweden. Mary Boka, Fred Ramsdahl, and Shimon Shikuchi received the honor for their groundbreaking work on immune system tolerance. The scientists discovered how regulatory T cells work with our immune system to help defend the body.
All right, well, let's get a look at the weather forecast as we are heading into our Monday morning. We have a little bit of sunshine peeking through here and there. It's comfortable if you want to leash up your fur babies, head out for a nice morning walk, or maybe you got some lawn work to do today. It'd be a good day to do it, especially a little earlier rather than later because it is going to warm up. Maybe you're just heading off to work this morning. Here's a few things you'll want to know before you go. We'll look for increasing cloud coverage throughout the day today. So if you're in a spot where there is a little sunshine peeking through, take advantage of it. It's beautiful out there right now at Lake Norman. However, we do have a lot of cloud coverage right here in Charlotte. 62 in Wadesboro, 63 in Hickory, low 60s out towards Lincolnton as well. And here's how the rest of our day is going to play out. Notice we do have a mix of sun and clouds. However, more clouds than sunshine. We'll stay dry today, and those temperatures will be a bit warmer than where we should be. We should be at 77 degrees, and today we're forecasting low 80s for many of us. It's also going to be a bit sticky. Humidity is going to be noticeable today and tomorrow, especially on Wednesday. And then we have a cold front that's going to swing through. That'll eventually bring down with it some cooler air temperatures, plus the humidity is also going to drop. Here's our surface map. You can see a few light passing showers in South Carolina, but really for our viewing area, we just have really cloudy skies at this point. I don't think we'll have really any impactful rain until we head through Wednesday, the middle half of our work week. Here's about noon. Not only are we looking at more rain opportunities, but those little pockets of yellow, that's where we could see brief heavy downpours, a few thunderstorms as well. I don't think we'll have any severe weather that we'll have to be too concerned about, but this will kind of be our gloomy, rainy day out of our 7-day forecast. And then on Thursday, look at what happens. We'll see those temperatures drop significantly. Again, back behind that front, it's going to be pulling in cooler, more northerly air, and it is going to make it feel very fall-like. Not only that, but we actually get the return of some sunshine sunshine as we're heading into the later half of our work week. The only rain chances that we have will be on Wednesday. About a 70% chance right now, so about 70% of our viewing area we think will actually get some rain showers. Few storms also not out of the question. We'll be watching that. But again, high temperatures today are going to be on the warm side. That's going to be the weather story today, is that we're kicking off the new week with warm and humid conditions. 82 this afternoon in Lincolnton, 79 in Hickory, and then tomorrow's forecast is kind of a rinse and repeat. We'll start out the day with mild conditions. We have quite a bit of cloud coverage outside right now. That's helping with those actual temperatures, and tomorrow we'll have a very similar setup there. Again, rain showers, what you need to know, will come through on Wednesday. That's going to be our only wet day, and then Thursday and Friday, I think those days are going to feel fantastic, especially if you're somebody who loves more fall-like weather. We're going to be waking up on Friday morning with temperatures below 50 degrees. Not only that, but we also will not have any humidity, so it's going to feel crisp in the air. If you're already making those weekend plans, this weekend will also be pretty nice with temperatures rising into the 70s. And hey, keep your eyes on the sky. Tonight we have the harvest moon. Now it is going to be full at 11:47 tonight. However, the best time to see it will be near sunset around 6:41. Now there is a catch. We will still have some lingering cloud coverage out there. So unfortunately, it's not going to be a perfectly clear night. However, you might still want to see if you can see it at times. The best time to actually see it will be right around sunset, because that's when it appears to be the biggest, and even there could be a bit of an orange hue. So if you do, take a picture, send it to us. We would love to see it. All right, Becca, what's the very latest with traffic this morning?
Traffic starting to settle down after a busy Monday morning. A live look outside across York County. This is 77, just a little bit slow on those northbound lanes. Southbound lanes looking fast and smooth. You can see starting to see that red die down in many spots, especially 77 and 85 over towards Gaston County. Do have this newest crash on the board. This is going to be over towards the Pineville Matthews area on that road heading eastbound at Arboretum Office Park. This is blocking one lane of traffic there. In addition, do have that update on that crash over towards the eastern portion of Mecklenburg County. I-485 heading northbound at Albemarle Road. That is cleared to the shoulder, and traffic is starting to improve, but you can still expect stop and go traffic. In addition, do still have this one, Scaly Bark Road intersection at South Boulevard, another wreck being reported there. And also want to let you know of a stormwater service happening that is going to close Carmel Park Drive. This will last all the way through October 24th.
All right, Becca, thanks so much. Right now, we want to go through some live pictures. This is in Greenbelt, Maryland, just north of the Washington, D.C. Area, where in about an hour and a half, a court hearing is scheduled to get underway at 10 this morning for Kilmar Abrego Garcia. You may remember he is the person who was deported to El Salvador to determine whether the Trump administration is acting outside of its authority. Of course, we just lost those live pictures. But again, it's going to be held in federal court in Maryland this morning, that status conference. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, he was deported to El Salvador last March, and then he was returned to the United States in June to face criminal charges in Tennessee. So we'll continue to monitor this. You can see a number of people gathered there. We see some free Kilmar signs as well. And my guess is that there's probably going to be a news conference of some sort with a number of people gathered there. Again, this is supposed to start at 10 this morning. This is in Greenbelt, Maryland. The status here is there for Kilmar Abrego Garcia. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with more here on WCNC Plus. now 8:42. You're streaming on WCNC Plus. A scam alert this morning. A Charlotte caterer under fire, accused by several customers online of taking their money and then disappearing. One couple shared they signed a contract with Chef Anthony Smith, a Charlotte-based caterer, back in April, sending in more than $5,000. They say the communication was steady until they asked for the chef's insurance information for their venue. That's when the chef claimed their payment had been canceled. But after verifying with both their bank and the booking website, they learned no refund or cancellation ever happened.
The bank just kind of let us know there's no refund in progress from this vendor.
If the venue wouldn't have asked for the insurance, we probably never would have known. He probably would have still been responding up until the day of the wedding, and we would have showed up
with nothing there.
150 people with no food, no bartenders, nothing.
We've learned that other clients have also left reviews recalling similar incidents with Mark Anthony Smith, last-minute cancellations, missing refunds, and broken trust. Some even suggesting that Smith previously operated under the name Bearded Chef, with complaints dating back to 2016. All right, well, parents know all too well about stress when it comes to your kids, but homework, sports, extracurricular activities, these things can add up to create stress for your kids as well.
Yeah, and that's why I looked into the everyday impact stress can have on your child's health and what to do to support them.
According to a study by the National Library of Medicine, 35% of children experience stress-related health problems. So we are looking at how you can spot stress in your children before it causes them more issues.
If you see any changes in sleeping, eating, kind of mood or behavior, that may indicate that it's too busy.
The Mayo Clinic also says stress can cause headaches or stomach aches in kids, and they can also start to withdraw from others. So what can you do to help? Dr. Kate Eshelman, a pediatric psychologist with the Cleveland Clinic, says if you notice changes, have a conversation with your kids to see what's behind the stress. She also suggests working with them to prioritize what matters most.
It helps kids have some structure to their day and need to kind of figure out how to work through all these different demands on their time.
Eshelman says before you say yes to any extracurricular activities, make sure it works in your family and child schedule so you're not committing to too much. Megan Bragg, WCNC Charlotte.
Rite Aid has officially shut down all of its stores nationwide. The drugstore chain filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in May of this year after previously filing in 2023. They closed hundreds of locations just a few months after and announced Friday all stores are now closed. Customers who used Rite Aid for prescriptions and to get vaccines can request their history online.
8:45 now, time for us to connect the dots. That's when we make the news make sense. Measles cases are rising nationwide, and health officials say diseases once thought nearly wiped out are now making a comeback. There's growing concern over measles outbreaks across multiple states, and experts say it reflects a larger trend across the country. Let's connect the dots. Measles is a highly contagious virus. It spreads easily through the air when someone coughs or sneezes. In South Carolina, multiple new cases have been confirmed, and many of those infected had not been vaccinated. This isn't just a local problem. Across the country, measles cases are surging, hitting levels not seen in decades. Health officials blame failing vaccination rates and rising vaccine hesitancy. They say if more people skip it, we risk losing what's called herd immunity, the protection a community gets when enough people are immune. Doctors warn measles can lead to serious complications like pneumonia, brain swelling, even death, especially in children. This outbreak is a reminder diseases we once thought nearly gone can come back if we let our guard down. And that's connecting the dots.
Well, coming up, Becca has an update on your Monday morning commute.
All right, let's get to it. Good Monday morning, everyone. Hope you had a great weekend. A few things you're going to want to know as you are planning your week ahead is that we're going to start out with very warm and muggy conditions for the first couple of days of our new week. Temperatures today mainly rising back into the lower end of the 80s, partly cloudy skies, and you'll notice that humidity again today, tomorrow, and especially on Wednesday. But then we have a cold front that is going to bring us some rain showers on Wednesday. Back behind it, though, will become cooler temperatures and drier conditions, so it's actually going to feel a lot more like fall as we're wrapping up our work week. Kind of the opposite, though, as we're starting it. Wednesday will be the only day that we have any opportunity for rain, but I think Wednesday, most of us should at least get some raindrops. Here's about noon as we're heading into our futurecast now. This is going to be on Wednesday because you won't need your umbrella today or tomorrow. However, if you do have any outdoor plans on Wednesday, this is when the rain starts to move in. A few isolated thunderstorms, brief heavy downpours. I don't think we'll have any severe thunderstorms, though. And then back behind the front, I told you this is going to be a significant cool down. 2 back-to-back days into the 80s. And then on Wednesday, this is right around where we should be for this time of the year. And then highs on Thursday and Friday not even reaching 70 degrees. 67 on Thursday, 69 on Friday. Overnight lows also going to feel crisp early in the morning, especially on Friday. Many of us waking up to upper 40s. As we're looking at the tropics, we're watching this next system right here. The National Hurricane Center says over the next 2 days, there's a 50% chance for it to actually form and to develop, and then a 70% chance over the next 7 days. As that storm continues to develop, we'll keep a close eye on it. If it is our next named storm, it would be named Jerry. The good news is our long-term forecasts are still turning this storm off to the north and to the east. Of course, we still do have a ways to go. And don't forget, we have our harvest supermoon tonight. The best time to actually see it will be near sunset around 6:41. We will have some cloud coverage out there, though. However, the harvest moon is also going to be a supermoon. So right when it's right on the horizon, it is going to be one of those really big moons, and there could even be a little bit of an orange hue with it. So if you take a picture, send it our way. We would love to see it. Here's kind of that forecast for tonight. I think there will be opportunities where we could see some of those clouds break away, so not totally overcast, but again, we will be dealing with some cloud coverage. There's that Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast right here. Low 80s today and tomorrow. Active weather on Wednesday, and then wrapping up really nicely to finish off the week. Becca, how are the roads this morning?
All right, still got a couple of problem spots out there, including this one. This is eastbound Pineville Matthews Road at Arboretum Shop Center. You can see that is blocking one lane of traffic there, slowing it down. And then a live look outside. This is I-77 north of Clayton Road. A little bit slow still on those northbound lanes, but no interstate crashes, at least on 77 at the moment. Matthews to Uptown will take about 27 minutes. Salisbury 49 and Waxhaw about 39 minutes. Starting to see more green and less red out there. That's the good news, especially as we get closer to that 9 o'clock hour. Do still have this crash. This is the newest one on the board. This is going to be on Highway 49 at Irwin Road, causing a stretch of delays there.
Hi, this is Larry Sprinkle. It's Monday and time for Carolina Trivia. Today we're going to take you back in time. Very interesting fact, golf was actually introduced to America in Charleston, South Carolina, of all places. In 1743, Scottish immigrants introduced the sport to an open area near downtown Charleston known as Harleston, now called Harleston Village there in Charleston. They played on an open field with no actual holes, only markers to indicate where to hit the ball with crudely made clubs. This is kind of a rendering of how it may have looked back in 1743 when golf was introduced. This actually is the type of golf club that they use in a golf ball from way back in the 1700s. By the way, this is the way that area looks today near Pitt and Bull Streets, or Bull and Pitt Streets in Charleston, South Carolina. And by the way, in case you want to play, there are over 450 South Carolina golf courses. That's your Carolina Trivia. I'm Larry Sprinkle.
And now we know.
And now we know. And look we're all here because we have to talk about Taylor Swift's special Life of a Showgirl album release event. It dominated the box office this weekend.
That's right. In partnership with AMC, Swift brought a 90-minute movie to theaters for just one weekend, celebrating the release of her 12th studio album. You know it, The Life of a Showgirl. The 3-day event grossed $33 million here in the U.S., marking the biggest album debut event in cinema history. So not only does she put out the album, but also you can go to the movies for the listening party.
Good for her.
I mean, right? Okay, Taylor. So Swifties, I know some of us love her, like her. What do you think? Did you listen to her over the weekend?
Okay, well, I did. I listened. Of course I did, yes. And I really loved the album. You can tell she's very much so in love and upbeat songs, and I thought it was good.
All right.
Yeah. I'm the resident non-Swiftie correspondent here, but I like pop music, and so I was expecting a lot from this album. I loved the bops that were on there. I like that she's inspired by a great love, and I think that is definitely apparent in the storytelling. There's just, I was not like a big Swiftie back then, so the core of like her music just doesn't really appeal to me that much, but I love that it was just exciting and different. I think I was expecting a little bit more, especially with the showgirl aesthetic. But it was cute. I liked it.
I loved her outfits and just the aesthetic of the whole album. I also saw the sweetest thing. I think Donna Kelsey went to see the showing for Taylor Swift.
That is sweet.
So she's supporting her future daughter-in-law.
Oh, as she should. Absolutely.
I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm a girl's girl, so if she's doing good, I'm cheering her on.
Same. I haven't listened to it.
Women.
Can you tell? All right, we're going to take a quick break right now, but it continues on WCNC Plus coming up at the top of the hour. Our own Jaden Monreal takes over from our live Impact News studio. She's going to have the latest breaking news that happens here locally and around the country. And of course, we'll continue to have updates on weather and traffic for you as you make your way out on this Monday morning. Keep it right here, streaming on WCNC Plus.
All right, good Monday morning, everyone. We are starting out with very mild conditions across the area, mainly just a nice mix of sun and clouds right now. Temperatures are also comfortable, mainly into the upper 50s, low 60s. And again, this afternoon, we are going to top off into the low 80s. Rain showers will arrive on Wednesday. We're looking at scattered showers and even a few storms. You can see this will be on Wednesday. No need for the umbrella today or tomorrow, but keep it handy come Wednesday, even as early as the morning time hours. Back behind Wednesday's cold front will be a cool down. Look at those temperatures Thursday and Friday with highs only rising into the 60s. Becca.
Shower traffic starting to come to an end. Still a little bit slow out there in some spots. Live view from 77 just north of Clinton Road. Starting to see that red die down and get replaced by some green, but not the case over here. Still have this active crash on I-485 northbound. This is at Albemarle Road, so do expect that to add a couple of extra minutes to that morning commute. In addition, this fatal crash still has one lane blocked, Highway 27 eastbound at Meadow Lane.